There's a guy in Newcastle. He's not doing a lot yet, but he's doing about 30,000 tonnes. So that's all come on in the last 3 or 4 years. You've had North Stradbroke taken out, but then you've had Mitsubishi expand. Then you had the Toyota Tsushu at Kemerton and also Ossams. They've expanded as well out of WA. But then you've got a whole range of people like Diatreme, Bauxite Resources, Ventnor, and some other companies that are all looking to get into the business in supplying silica sand out of Australia.
Okay, and on the other side for people, the end users, are there new companies coming into that as well, or?
To some extent, Susan, but it's more I think it's more of a steady as you go, GDP type changing. The volume markets, as I said, are really glass container and flat glass for construction. And on average, they'll grow at 3% per annum. In China, it's been a bit higher recently, until more recently when construction has slowed down in the flat glass area. So there's a couple of things happening in the glass side. There's more and more specialty glasses being produced. Cover glass for solar collectors, LCD glass for lighting. They're smaller volumes, but generally they want a higher purity material. And then on top of that, you've got the some of the areas like in China and in Vietnam and other areas where they're starting to stop supply of silica sand. So if I can just try and put that thought together. Overall, silica sand demand is only growing at probably 3 to 4% per annum, but it's breaking into more specialised areas. But on supply side, you've got more people from Australia looking to supply. You've got restrictions on mining sand in certain countries, which is adding to the attractiveness of selling more sand from Australia, where we can produce without causing environmental problems.
And for the intermediaries like Mitsubishi, what impact does that have on them being able to sell, like the effort that they would need to put into selling?
Well, I don't classify Mitsubishi as intermediate because they're a producer and they're basically a producer of the sand. I would, to me, an intermediate would be someone like a trader who buys the silica sand from a producer in Australia and then sells it to a customer. But it's just a matter of terminology.
Yep. So for something like that, what would you what impact is the changes having?
For Mitsubishi, I think they'd simply be they'd be in touch with all the Japanese customers and they'd be following the Japanese companies wherever they're going and be offering silica sand to all of them. I don't think for them it's not a complex process because they're not looking to. They've got a good reputation. They're in a powerful position, price-wise, quality-wise. It's the other guys who are trying to get the market from them who have to prove themselves. And so starting off is to compete against the Mitsubishi and the Toyota Tsushus it's a difficult process to get in there, and you need to be very strategic about who you target. You can't just go along and drop a sample in and hope somebody's going to buy something from you. You have to form strategic alliances. You have to look at where the weaknesses in Mitsubishi supply chain are, for example, rather than just trying to tackle them head on. Are there customers that they're not good at supplying? And really, in the end, you've got to go out and do a face-to-face market survey. It's the only way you can do it properly. I've actually arranged a couple of these for clients, and people who are in the metals area or the some areas like that really find this quite strange. But industrial minerals, you have to go and have face-to-face meetings with your customers to find out what's really going on in the marketplace. You can't just do it by sitting back and communicating in an abstract way. And even then,